Now, Concord, for those who don't know, was a hero shooter that was a Sony exclusive. It had been getting fairly good reviews about the beta, but nothing that helped it stand out from the shooter pack, right? So good mechanics, good character design, but nothing that was like, wow, I gotta go cop this. So Sony decided to truck forward, drop the game at a $40 price point, and we've seen since that release, that launch window, of record low Steam numbers. I don't think Sony's even released the PlayStation numbers. And not even 2 weeks after launching, we get an article from PlayStation saying that Concord will be going offline at the end of this week. So Tim, I ask you, in this era where as PlayStation fans, we've been asking them for shooters. We've been asking them for shooters for years at this point. We get a shooter, the shooter flops, and they're pulling the shooter. What are your thoughts on everything? I mean, I've never seen this before, from what I can remember.
It kind of goes back to, there was a comment that you made. I think we were talking about like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, of like, people have always been they're like heavy requests of stuff, but then, when it's out, where's the support?
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like it's a two-way street. I do feel like, the designs were cool. I did like the fact that, Sony and one of the new studios that they purchased, or I would say acquired, is, pushing out something new.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, and then, it's one of those type of shooters where it just builds over time. But then I do realize, yes, you need something substantial to keep people involved. But then I also did feel like it did need some more time. I think it needed some more time.
Really? After 8 years of development?
No, like in terms of like investment, I would say more beta access.
Oh, okay. Like time for the public to
get familiar with it, because like, yes, especially like, shooters of this particular style, there's still a large fan base, in terms of Overwatch, even. And, this is where I feel like the issue really truly lies, is when Valorant became on the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I saw that announcement, I was like, because I just know it was just going to impact. Because like, you got to think about it, man. Yes, the system is selling units, but it's just like, but where's the attention span of all of these people who are buying it? Mm-hmm. Like, yes, the system is selling, but who's to say that the fan base for this particular title is there? And I think it needed more time, man. It needed more time. Like, we see a prime example of that, like, look at Multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Multiverse, it had its issues, yes, but then at least it was able to use that time to really say, like, hey, we want you to invest in this, and this is why. And I just kind of feel like, they were on good faith, yes, mm-hmm. but it just needed more time.
I mean, it's
sad to say that it's cut. I mean, I hope the studio doesn't get penalized for that, because I would hate for that to happen. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I do feel like, Sony was very strategic with the studios that they purchased. Like, especially when you really look up their history, I was like, these are good people. They're able to make a quality product. But I just hope the money side doesn't really hurt the lives of these people,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. It's one of those situations where I think it puts them between like a rock and a hard place. Of, on one hand, again, you're getting critique from your fan base of like, why is everything a third person action adventure game? Why is it always this adventure that we have to go on with these characters? Why is it always this? Where's our first person this? Where's our kid friendly this? And then it's like, like I was saying in the group chat, it's like you have these concepts where, game development is taking longer. So it's taking longer to cook. But by the time they get around to putting it out, nobody cares, right? Or the idea just wasn't good, right? Where like I could kind of get behind the concept of Concord more than I could Foam Stars, but Foam Stars was for the kids and still flopped, right? So if I'm Sony, I'm just like, what do you guys want? You tell me you want third-person action adventure shooters. I gave it to you. You don't buy it. You want kid games. Like, I will say, like, I will be pretty upset if Astrobot drops on Friday and nobody buys it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this is the thing y'all asked for. You've been saying since the PS5 came out, oh, Astrobot was such a fun surprise. It's the Little Big Planet successor we never thought we wanted. It's like, well, now you're getting a full-fledged game with all the funny mascot characters being represented in it. I hope y'all buy it. I hope y'all buy it, because if not, you're going to continue to get Spider-Man 3, 4, 4.5. Miles Morales 2, The Last of Us prequel. Like you're gonna get these games because you're not showing up at the store to actually buy these things that you're telling this company that you want. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I look at the industry as a whole, where like for as stilted as the release window has been for 2024 releases, bro, we've been seeing back to back flops of games for a couple of months now. Where I'm like, I don't know how we got to this point of like, it's either sink or swim out the gate. Either you're Black Myth Wukong or your Suicide Squad. There's no like in between, right? There's no like, oh, it's all a respectable number, but nothing crazy. It's like either you went gangbusters when you sold, or it's like you're RIP, like Concord. I'm like, again, like I was racking my brain. Like I don't think I've ever seen this before. Of like a game being shut down within 2 weeks, a AAA game at that being shut down in 2 weeks.
I wouldn't even consider this AAA.
Really?
I wouldn't consider that because I have been sitting and saying like, yes, bro, we're starting to see things in new or different categories. Like, yes, it's from a flagship like PlayStation, but that it doesn't mean that it's in that category.
Okay. But what would the signifying things have been for you to be like, you know what? I think they put in like their oomph behind it to like a AAA status.
The marketing definitely would have been there. Like I said, the ads were there, I would say, but then it was still that same cinematic trailer that we saw at
Okay.
at one of the events. But I just kind of felt like the game developer diaries, that's what seals the deal for me.
Okay.
I enjoy those. I like to see like the faces of the people who make this game, their thoughts about it, the mechanics about it. Even like I also like when I saw like how many maps were available, I was like, bro, that's it? That's
Okay.
it? Like you mean tell me a game was in development this long and that's how many maps you're releasing? And that was my first red flag right there. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, bro, this is very kind of a bit bare bones, bro. And you gotta understand is that because it's not just Valorant that you were competing with; it's the next flagship game on the Marvel rivals, bro. It's like you're competing with two brands that already have like they're already established due to the names behind them. Yes, yes, PlayStation is another powerhouse, but then this is still a new IP, so it's still fresh to people, and
Yeah.
it really that investment needs to be there.
But you think
And
the investment needs to be there from like the studio or from the fan base? Like, where do you feel
both,
like?
both.
Okay.
But I do feel like it's about it. But it starts with the developer because it's like because first of all, I would only know about this game by what you put out.
Fair. Fair.
I
Fair.
would
Fair.
only know about this by what you put out, and I just kind of feel like maybe the marketing wasn't really there, or maybe I did feel like some aspects of the gameplay wasn't really up to par. Um, it still felt very fresh, like very, very vanilla based,
Yeah.
and I
Maybe
do
not
feel
generic, but didn't stand out for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like yeah, the character designs were great. I liked them.
Me too.
I enjoyed
Me
them
too.
because it's very yes, like we do see the similarities, towards a particular group, of course. But then I did like to feel like they said they were going to expand on these characters, so like you're getting to know them within this shooting realm, and I was just really interested to see how does that work.
Yeah. And
But
we may never know at this point.
it's tough, bro. But yeah,
Yeah.
but games like Suicide Squad, they deserve that.
Well, yeah. Yeah. For sure. It's just, again, like it kind of, it's a bit of a head scratcher of like, are we as an audience, are we kind of moving away from original IPs? Right. That's kind of like my underlying thought of like, is it something where we're not as invested in like, what's this new game, new character, and new world?
Half and half. I do feel like some people are slaves to nostalgia.
Okay.
Like, like there is a form of bait that is thrown out there, which kind of draws you in, of course. And then it's also like it's taking a chance. It's like an investment. Like, why do I want to spend my money? Like, and I keep saying I've been going back to this point a lot in our conversations. It's the money factor, bro. Games
Mm,
are expensive now, bro.
mm, mm.
And then you throw in DLC on top of that. It's like, bro, how much of my money do I want to give this product? This
No,
$20, I could get something to eat
no, bro,
or
that's
gas.
fair.
And I do feel like a lot of the humanity aspects of what's going on in our world around us is impacting the gaming industry. It really
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm. I think that's a good point. I think we are starting to really feel the effects of I'm trying to think of the term of like overindulgent entertainment, right? Where it's like on a the economy was better if people's finances were better. Maybe you'll pick up that you have two games that you're going to buy for sure, and that possible of like maybe this game can win me over. I got a couple extra dollars, I'll pick it up. Versus now, like you're saying, it's like even the two games I want, I might just get one and have to wait for a deep sale so I can pick up the other one. Like it's getting to that point of I think gamers, unless you just have a lot of disposable income, you have to be extremely savvy. The ratings of a game matter more than anything. Like the opening, it's almost like a movie. Like the opening weekend of a game, like dictates so much of like, can I, in my mind, make peace with spending $70 plus tax on this game that already has a season pass announced before it comes out. So I already know in my mind, if I really want to experience the game, it's going to cost me $100+ in this economy, or I can't even get fast food for less than $10. So like, it's true. It's true. I do think the rising cost of things are making gamers a lot more IP averse than they usually would be.